Hi, Rosie. Can you help me? Sometimes when my wife and I are in bed, she will talk about or fantasize about a scenario involving another person, usually a man. And my question to you is, do you think she is into this? Hi, my name is Rosie Kay, and I'm an open relationship coach and swinger lifestyle expert. And over on my blog site, ThisKindaGirl.co.uk, I aim to banish the myth conception, and banish the stigma around the swinger lifestyle and educate people as to who swingers really are. And today, I want to talk about this question that I have been sent because it's one which is probably one of the most popular that I receive here at TKG. Let's go back to the question and let's deep dive into it. So, hi Rosie, is my wife into this? Sometimes when my wife and I are in bed, she will talk about or fantasize about a scenario involving another person, usually a man. I have to admit, I find this hugely exciting and a massive turn on, and I often begin to wonder what it would be like to have a threesome, but also whether she would like a couple swap or maybe visit a swingers club. I've tried talking to her about this and probe a little deeper, but every time I do, she either refuses to talk about it or says that she said it in the heat of the moment. The last thing I want to do is upset my wife, but these desires, I believe, do stem from somewhere. I feel as though there's so much we could explore. My question to you is my wife into this, or am I wrong for wanting to talk to her about this? I feel quite frustrated, but I don't want to upset my wife. Please, can you help me? So, if you can relate to being in this situation, or if you perhaps, had a situation like this where you've spoken to your partner about it, or your partner has spoken to you in the heat of the moment, or whilst you've been enjoying something else, and then in the morning they've kind of like won't engage about that conversation again, or perhaps are very cold about it, or dismissive, or brush it off, or they won't allow for that to become a dialogue, then you're going to want to watch this video because I'm going to be sharing some good, detailed, in-depth advice on the steps that you need to take. So I want to assure you that you are not alone in feeling like this. And as I said, there have been many people who have contacted me over the years, coming from this exact same place. It's a very popular scenario to be in. Before I give you my advice and share my thoughts, I want to look at what is really happening here because I believe there is something vital that you are perhaps failing to recognize. Now, the fact that your wife can share her fantasies with you is a positive thing. And quite honestly, it is an excellent trait to possess in a relationship. So if you're like this, if your partner is opening up to you at certain times and sharing things, then cherish that. And there are many couples out there who never share with each other out of fear of judgment or shame. So the fact that she can share with you and importantly feels safe to share with you should be recognized, and this should be nurtured. I understand that you are feeling frustrated, but the worst thing that you can do, and one of the many mistakes, unfortunately, that many men make, is presume that because she said she had an interest in XYZ, that means she's therefore must be into XYZ, XYZ, triple X, ZZX, etc. Do you get what I mean? Now, this is not always the case, and jumping to that conclusion and presuming your partner is into something is a very dangerous move to make indeed. I think you need to be mindful that for some people, fantasizing and talking about the possibility of introducing a new dynamic is as far as they ever want to go. This verbalization of their fantasies is thrilling and exciting, but it's done from a very safe distance of within their existing relationship, within the privacy of the two people. And it's a very safe place to explore something which is potentially really scary. you need to be aware that this could be where your wife's coming from, and this could be as far as your wife is willing to go. Now, some people, they like to view from a safe distance because they are scared of how their partner might react should they say, actually, this is something I'd quite like to explore. Are you going to reject her, overwhelm her, or will she end up doing something she doesn't want to do? And if you go down that route of presuming your wife's okay with something, or being overly eager, or being overly enthusiastic, saying, okay, well, let's do this, let's go and look on a swinger site, let's hook up with a couple, let's, as many people do, and they kind of get carried away, this in itself is really quite scary to a person who's only just comfortable with verbalizing a few fantasies that they have. I'm sure she might enjoy the fantasy of having a threesome or getting other people involved, but I'm pretty sure that she would also have reservations about this and other scenarios should they become a reality. Ethical non-monogamy is a huge decision, and no one wants to be responsible for breaking or jeopardizing the relationship. And this could be a very real reason why she will only ever verbalize these things once and then dismiss them or not want to discuss them. Because again, the worry of introducing something which potentially breaks the relationship, nobody wants that pinned on them. And it's much safer to kind of put it out there and verbalize without actually taking those steps, because it could be this fear, which is what she is hiding behind. Now, what you need to do, instead of probing her for details or making suggestions about foursomes, is have a conversation where you let her know that you value the honesty that you have and that you enjoy sharing your fantasies and you cherish your relationship. And should she want to explore the world of ethical non-monogamy, it's a journey that you would love to go on with her. Having a conversation surrounding relationship growth where you can both display vulnerability and talk about your fears and talk about your worries is a huge step. But if you can do this, then the stronger the foundation between you will grow, because being vulnerable, and I've spoke about this many times before, being vulnerable is really scary, but it's only from a place of vulnerability that we can grow as people and that we can grow as people within a relationship. Opening up to your partner about what you like and what you don't like about anything, it's a scary thing to do because we're not sure where that's going to land us. Are we going to face repercussions from that? And once we verbalize something, we can't take it back. When we put a piece of ourselves out there, which comes from deep within us, we don't always know what the outcome is going to be, and that is scary. And even if your partner, let's say one of you has a desire for something and your partner, that's not their desire, it doesn't mean that your relationship is going to be jeopardized. For example, if one of you is bisexual or one of you wants to enjoy a certain thing and the other one isn't on board with that or doesn't want to go through with that or doesn't have that kind of within there what they envisioned, it doesn't mean that the relationship is doomed to fail. It means that together you have to work to find a compromise to make it happen. A good example of this is one that I'm going to draw from personal experience. Years ago, I used to date a man who was openly bisexual, and he, although we were swingers, he wanted to open up our relationship and have a relationship with a couple where he was active with both the man and the woman. And there was no part for me in that. I'd never been in an open relationship. I'd never been in a relationship with somebody who was openly bi. And there was no, I wasn't really included in that scenario. And it wasn't really how what I envisioned. And it was testing. And initially I was very scared of it, but we found a way to work together to make it happen because that's what he wanted to enjoy. And I had to support and give my consent because I wanted the best for him and I wanted to enjoy and for him to have that freedom and for him to explore that side to his personality and his sexuality. It wasn't an easy thing to do, but he shared with me that vulnerability and I shared with him my vulnerabilities about what I was scared about happening. And once we did that, we became a stronger couple for it. So I know that's an extreme example, but it's a very real example. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you'd like to find out more about my work that I do as a relationship coach, as a single lifestyle expert, if you'd like to find out how I can help you, or read my blog articles, or watch more of these videos, or my workshops, or anything else that I do, or join my TKG Club community, then you can find all the details for that below in this video. And if you'd like me to answer more of your questions, then do please drop a comment or get in touch with me at ThisKindaGirl@gmail.com, and I will endeavour to get back to you and send you one of these videos or put it out there for other people to enjoy as well. So I shall see you all next time, and thank you very much for watching.